The Pistons host Denver tomorrow. Joker is back. That's a big game feel. They're coming off a 53-point win, which is the largest margin of victory in the Pistons franchise history. They blasted Brooklyn. Peculiarly, Michael Porter Jr., off a trade target rumored to Detroit, he sat out for personal reasons, which feels a heck of a lot like, hey, he might get traded before Thursday's deadline. Usually, personal reasons. Okay. Mark Stein reported over the weekend that the Pistons have had internal conversations about Michael Porter Jr. and Miles Bridges, who is down in Charlotte, which I hadn't heard his name associated with the Pistons here till then. Charlotte is a brink of a playoff kind of team. Now, do they want to try and go for it and make the playoffs, or would they rather, there's no question Brooklyn's not going to the playoffs, so they could be a team that's going for a full-scale rebuild and will just take draft capital and maybe a young player or two. Utah with Lauri Markkanen, another team that's on the outside looking in that might be motivated to make a deal. Charlotte, I don't know. I don't know their ownership situation or how important they would think it would be to make the playoffs. Any thoughts on Miles Bridges coming to Detroit?
Well, obviously, I was always a big Miles Bridges fan, Michigan State guy. It doesn't make sense for the Pistons, though, is a whole different ballgame. He's not a dead-eye shooter from three-point range. He's got good length, and he's a scorer. He's a 20-point-a-game kind of guy. He averaged 18 this year, but the previous 3 years was over 20 points a game. And I think is a decent defender as well. So that part fits, and I don't think you have to give up a ton to get a guy like Miles Bridges, do you?
I can't imagine.
But is he an upgrade over Tobias?
I don't know.
Different position.
I don't know about that. Kang, do you have any thoughts on Miles Bridges?
I don't want Miles Bridges. I think he's a nice player. He's athletic wing. Doesn't shoot the three as well as I'd like him to. The thing I find strange is I feel like Miles Bridges is always rumored to the Pistons. Like every year he's available or the Pistons might need somebody. I don't know if it's the national media being lazy because he played at Michigan State, or maybe at one point there was a need, or maybe the Pistons do have an infatuation with Miles Bridges and his name always comes up. But I think there's better options than Miles Bridges. And I like Michael Porter Jr. better, according to Mark Stein, if he's the other guy they're talking about. I'd rather have him than Bridges.
He doesn't feel like the missing piece.
No.
It feels like, okay, good player. But yeah, I thought we would be looking for somebody who's well,
he can score. Maybe that fills a secondary type of scorer. But I think you can do better.
Yeah, and probably it would feel to me like this would make sense if it were kind of a Charlotte just unloading him and Detroit not having to pay all that much, but. We'll see how that plays itself out. The other, Michael Porter's name is out there. Klay Thompson's come up a few times from ticket texters today. That's a guy who can still shoot it, and plays some defense, is known for that. I have to see I don't know that his salary fits into the mid-level exception. I don't think it does, but the bottom line is that feels like the kind of move that could be made that could be a player that could be scored for. Again, not having to give up the sun and the moon to go get them. Dallas is another one of those teams that, they're on. Do they want to make the playoffs here with Cooper Flagg? Do they think that's important, or are they perfectly fine with not making the playoffs? And that's a question they'd have to ask themselves. And because, sometimes teams are just looking for the experience for their young core. We talked about it last year with who was a guard from the there were two guards. There was Zeitler down in Tennessee and Bitonio in Cleveland that both had young quarterbacks that those guys were protecting. So even though those teams weren't going anywhere, you sometimes want to help your young guy grow up quicker for giving him good experience. So maybe Dallas wants to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Klay Thompson's an interesting thought, right? Because you're not paying for what he was. He's making $16 million a year now, just under $17 million a year. You'd have him for next year as well, at just over almost 17 and a half next year. But clearly this guy is one of the great shooters in NBA history. There's no doubt about that. But is he somebody that can help this team out currently? He's been coming off the bench, and there's reason to like him, but if he's, I can't imagine he comes with a huge price tag either. Veteran player.
Yeah. Then you know me, I'm always after Bobby Portis every single year. When you talk about infatuation, Bobby Portis is a player that I'm infatuated.
You are.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson, though, I wouldn't be against that at all. I think he falls in the category like Malik Monk. If this is a smaller type move where you get a shooter, a 3-point shooter specifically, off the bench to help alleviate the nights when Duncan Robinson's off and Cade's getting doubled, and you got to kick it out to somebody because that's the one, if you can't make a bigger trade for like a real secondary scorer, I like Klay Thompson plays defense as well.
And the championship experience and pedigree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's another unk on the team if he comes here.
And I don't know that you can have enough of those guys. Even just a role player. And he's not a starter in Dallas. And yeah, go get him to be another grizzled veteran that's been there, done that, played in some battles, and can hit the 3-point shot and he'll play defense for you.
I wonder what you would have to give up to get that.
I don't think much.
So let's say that you don't even have to give up Tobias, and you're adding.
Yeah, that's why I think they would do something like that over moving Tobias personally.
Giving up one of those smaller guards in a draft pick.
248-539-9797. Okay. JB Bickerstaff said something over the weekend. I think it was prior to the Golden State game that sounds as though he's wanting to make a deal. You'll hear what he had to say today at 1:16. Open lines, 248-539-9797. Champ and Chump votes get him in. It is Karsch and Anderson on 97.1.